Game Night is a 2018 action comedy film that mixes game night antics with a crime caper. Directed by John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, this one tries to blend date night with the game and a dash of Clue. But does it succeed? Let's find out. Released in 2018, Game Night stars Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams as Max and Annie, a competitive couple who love their weekly game nights with friends. Things spiral out of control when Max's shady older brother, played by Kyle Chandler, hosts a murder mystery night that turns into something very real. The directors, Daley and Goldstein, are probably names you've heard. They wrote Horrible Bosses and Spider-Man Homecoming and would later go on to direct Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Amongst Thieves. In some fun trivia, much of the film was shot in Atlanta, Georgia, and the directors specifically used drone shots and long takes to make suburban neighborhoods feel cinematic, almost like a board game landscape. You'll notice certain transitions mimic game pieces being moved around a board, a stylistic little detail that helps the film stand out visually. Now let's talk the cast. Jason Bateman is, well, Jason Bateman. He always seemingly plays the same type of role. He adds the same dry, sarcastic and slightly unlikable character we've seen in Arrested Development or Horrible Bosses. Here though, he tries a bit harder to be more charming, and his chemistry with Rachel McAdams is actually one of the stronger parts of the film. I just don't find Bateman very likable though in this role, and maybe another actor would have been better cast. Rachel McAdams, on the other hand, though, shows once again why she's such a versatile actress. Whether it's starring in a film like the drama Spotlight or comedies like this, she adapts seamlessly. Her comedic timing carries several scenes. And for me, she's definitely one of the stars of the film. But it's the supporting cast that honestly outshines the leads. Billy Magnussen here as Ryan, the lovable idiot, is excellent. He nails the brainless but somehow enduring routine. And Sharon Horgan, cast opposite him, is brilliant. The dynamic adds some of the film's funniest and smartest lines, and honestly, I wish the movie had used them more, particularly Horgan. Then of course you've got Lamorne Morris and Kylie Bunbury, who are solid as a couple dealing with their own subplot. Kyle Chandler, though, feels miscast here as Max's brother, as he never quite sells the sleazy, charismatic sibling role. It never seems believable. But the real MVP here, well, that's Jesse Plemons as Gary, the socially awkward neighbor and policeman. Deadpan, monotone, with a touch of menace, he completely steals the show. Some of the funniest and most uncomfortable scenes in the movie belong to him, and he elevates game night every time he's on screen. The story itself is a bit of a mixed bag. It starts off strong with a clever premise. What if your friendly game night turned into an actual high-stakes mystery? But as the movie goes on, it kind of jumps the shark. The pregnancy subplot between Max and Annie feels forced and frankly a little annoying. The pacing also drags towards the final act, where the comedy gets sillier and sillier and the twists pile up past the point of believability. There are moments of inspired comedy, sure, but the writing doesn't always live up to the clever setup. With tighter scripting and better casting in a few roles, this could have been a comedy classic. Instead, it lands up as fun, but a forgettable ride. Now let's discuss some quick trivia. The film's score by Cliff Martinez was intentionally electronic and pulsing to give the movie a more thriller-like edge, contrasting with the comedy. The directors originally pitched the film as a darker thriller before leaning more into the comedy. You can still feel the DNA in the cinematography. Many of the wide suburban shots were designed to resemble tilt-shift photography, again making everything look like a miniature board game. It's these little touches that make Game Night more visually creative than your standard comedy. The film is littered with cameos, with Michael C. Hall playing the Bulgarian, Danny Houston in a blink of a missed turn as Donald Anderton, Chelsea Peretti as Glenda, with even Jeffrey Wright making an uncredited cameo as the actor playing Agent Ron Henderson. Then we get, of course, Kenny, credited here as non-Denzel, portrayed here in the film by Malcolm X, Hughes, a part-time Denzel Washington impersonator. Screenwriter Mark Perez took inspiration from films like Three Amigos and Tropic Thunder. Initially, Jason Bateman was supposed to direct, but when Goldstein and Daley took over to rewrite Perez's script, Bateman stepped down from the director's chair and just chose to star. The film would go on to gross $117 million against a $37 million budget. Amy Adams was originally cast as Annie. This role would of course go to Rachel McAdams. So where do I land on Game Night? It's a fun film with a cast that looks like they're genuinely having fun in their respective roles, but it doesn't quite rise above its limitations. Jason Bateman feels samey, Rachel McAdams brings charm, and the supporting cast, especially Billy Magnussen, Sharon Horgan and Jesse Plemons, are real highlights. But I do feel the movie overstays its welcome a little. The story goes off the rails, and by the end it's more silly than smart. Still, it's entertaining enough for a casual watch, especially if you're into crime comedies with a slight twist. Game Night gets a 6 out of 10. Yes, it's funny in parts, but ultimately it is rather forgettable. Thanks for watching the review of Game Night. Did you enjoy it more than I did? Or did you agree that Jesse Plemons should have had his own spin-off movie? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next review.